All right, we're live. Okay. Yeah, so still working on our samurai game. This is still the prototype, but we're gonna get our current refactor to start looking a little like this. So that's the plan. And I'm hoping it will work better. Okay, so I pulled open the old project because the next thing we're gonna do is look at creating animation blueprint with an anim graph. So I think we're going to skip this piece, this default slot. Well, maybe I can add it. Anyway, we're going to create a quick locomotion piece for our samurai guy. So big day today. We are going to go into our player base here. So this is like this is like a moment where you could say, maybe we switch to a new character class, because we're starting to change like the graphics. So like we could have this as our base, and then we could create a new child off of this, because maybe like we extend it, have like a different samurai, or maybe you can also unlock a ninja. Okay. So now that we have our new, oh, actually, I don't want to name it. We got samurai here, player, but we don't need base anymore. Okay. So inside here, we've got this skeletal mesh, and we can select our samurai instead. And the other piece that we probably need to do is, this is invisible right now, I think. So I want to swap out so that the bean is no longer visible. Okay. Oh, the bean is making it look like he has a beard or something. Okay, we can make bean not visible at all. All right, so here we are. We've got our guy. It appears that our mesh is facing the wrong way. But it might just be because we've rotated him. I guess not. All right. 90. Where's the camera? Okay. All right. Okay, so let's just see. We'll go into world settings. We'll go into our game mode. And we'll change this from BB player base to BB player samurai. Okay, so this guy is not going to animate or anything. But we do have our guy in the game. Hey, MC player. Yeah, my specs are pretty good for that, I guess. I think I have a 3080 Ti. It doesn't like it if I click off the screen though, so it just went blurry, but. All right, so our guy's in. Let's go. So now that we have this, we're going to make an animation blueprint to go with our character. So I think animation blueprints can live with their characters. So I'm going to put it here. Animation blueprint. I'm going to base it off of our Samurai 2 skeleton. And then animation blueprint underscore. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think I don't know if you're talking about the one in this like gray box demo or the one in the in like the full prototype that I have. Is that the one you're talking about? Because the motion blur here is actually just, it's built into the engine. A lot of people get really annoyed with it, and then that's super subtle. So, but in here we do have some, like, you can kind of see I've got this like particle effect on them, which in some ways I feel like is not not cartoony enough for me, but yeah. So we'll add that back in soon though, yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, yeah, I could ramp it up. Yeah, I could probably add it to post-process, like add more. I don't think I have a post-process volume in this right now. But I can add one right now. Why not? Here, let's add a post-process volume, and we will just do it real quick in the age of interactive game development. Okay, so in our post-process we want to do extent, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. All right. And then we will do blur. Let's see, because I think there is a motion blur in here. Yeah, so this is like built-in motion blur, I think, in the engine, but then you can also add more motion blur in post-process. Let's experiment. I can't tell. Do you see it? I don't see it. Let's make it 1. I don't know. I think it's happening, but you almost need to go into slow-mo or something too. Can I make it 100? It says 5 seems to be, what does it mean to be max? Max distortion. Strength. I think it is blurry. I don't know. Something to play around with, I guess. And yeah, we'll be playing around with the post-processing in order to get kind of some of the effects that we got in the demo project too. So, all right, cool. So we have a animation blueprint now for our samurai guy. We have an output, but we don't have anything else. So yeah, thanks for stopping in, MC Player. All right. So we can pull off of this result and we can do what is it called? Not input. State machine, I guess, I think. Yeah, okay, new state machine, good. And then we just pull it here, and then we'll rename it. I think the standard is to call it locomotion, because it's going to be moving, I guess. Locomotion, yeah. And then if you want to do like your montage interrupt, you have to put it in here, which we will. I forget how to do that right now, but if we click in here, we have our thing. So we're going to have two animations. And if we go over to this asset browser, we can find idle and walk. So I'm going to put idle in, walk in. And we want to go like that. All right, and then walk and idle are going to change based on their stuff. So we have a transition here that we can change. All right, so the next piece is getting into the event graph. All right, so this, they have a built-in event update animation. I don't know what like Unreal's like advice is for this, but this feels like this is going to be updated all the time. So like keep trying to get the pawn and casting it and stuff seems bad. But so I tried in the other project. I'll show you. I tried. All right, I gotta figure out how to slot or something. Okay. So in the old project, I tried doing this. So there's an event begin play, just like everywhere else. And this does fire off at the beginning, and you can try get the pawn and cast it and then set it. And then you could use it later. But you can see I have all these unused things here. Like this right here is getting this thing from the beginning. But when you play the game and you close out, you get all these errors because it tries to run that loop before it has that animated character. It sets the movement. It's trying to set the movement speed like before this begin play. So I don't know what. So we have blueprint. I guess there's an initialize animation. I wonder if this will work. Let's grab this and put it here instead. And we can print the knit here. And then just have them both do this. Well, I'll just turn off begin right now. Why not? Okay. So we're gonna just use this initialize and see what happens. The whole point of the new version of the project is to make things better, not carry over any jank, right? So, hey, look at that, no errors. Okay, so let's use that, initialize. So yeah, so we're just gonna do exactly this, basically. We're gonna cast, and then we're gonna set to an animated character, so. All right, so we're not gonna do it here. We're gonna make a new event. Animation initialize, and then we'll try get pawn, and we will cast to player base. So this is where like the base kind of comes into play here, because now we'll have like anytime we have a new player character, this will just work because they'll all be based off of the base character. So that'll be good, hopefully. All right, and then we have this, and now we're going to promote this to a variable. Okay, so now we have our base character, and this should be good because we can get the movement component. So then in this animation thing, I'm going to rename it, but get that. I'm just going to call him my player, because that's kind of how I label things sometimes. Okay. All right, and then off here, we can get movement. Right, what did we do in the old one, actually? Okay. So we set that, then in here, oh, we can just pull off get velocity. Okay. And then we create a new variable. Did you know you can copy and paste blueprints right from other blueprints? Okay. In other projects? You can. All right. So let's just pull off that. I think it worked. Okay, and then we're gonna make a new variable. We'll call this movement speed. And then our animation update will always use it. Okay, so now we're just constantly updating our movement speed based on the velocity of our player. Okay. Does not like something. Oh yeah, because we haven't connected it. Okay. Yeah, so now we have this. And we want to say like if movement speed is greater than 0, we can walk. And then we'll go back to our return, and we'll pull movement speed in, and we'll say less than or equal to 0, because who knows. And that should get us some movement. Okay, so yeah, I think that will work. We could put like a log in here that we're not attached to the right kind of player, but maybe we'll leave that for now. All right, so we have all this. We could make this into a check if it's you could do a get valid. That would actually probably prevent a lot of errors. All right. And you can actually do these print strings and put them just in your logs too. So you can say like player animation player base, you know, something like that, and then you could just drop it into your logs. All right. So currently it's saying that we are failing. Does that mean maybe I don't want this string? Yeah, maybe not. Okay. Just do once, right? Can I do that? Okay. That's fine. Okay, and then inside our player samurai, we can add an animation blueprint. Okay. So you can see now he's. Oh yeah, we were gonna fix the weight painting. Oh well, we are setting this up. It's too late. Is he moving or is it my imagination? I don't see him moving. Okay, that's fine. Oh, there he goes. Okay, he's moving now. Okay, so if we press play. Okay, so we have kind of a weird walking situation. All right. So one of the issues is I have changed the way our actually, I didn't think I changed it like this. So that's one thing I didn't notice. So I've been working on like this mouse aim, right? So like when you're using the mouse, your character basically tries to point at your mouse. So that's fine, but when you're walking, you without this script going on all the time to follow the mouse, you would face the direction that you're walking, and now we're not facing the direction that we're walking, which seems okay for mouse aiming, but it makes the puzzle of animation a little bit harder. Okay. Also, our camera is so zoomed out, it's hard to see our walking animation. I might just change our camera real quick, just so we can see the player now. All right, so so he can walk. If I walk down right now, it's good. Well, kind of good. I don't know. There's also a weird glide. It's not repeating, so I need to go into our animations, and I think it's in the animation. Let's look. Minecraft. Animation state. It's all. This is no longer recommended. Okay. I'm not really messing with it. All right. So this doesn't really give us anything, so we can I just add looping interpolation? That might be what I want. Let's just browse to asset. Okay. All right, obviously it loops here. Loop. All right, let's try that. Okay. Still not looping, guys. All right. What's up? All right, we have it here, looping. Did I not save it? Let's see it. There is another checkbox somewhere about looping this animation. All right. I feel like it's here, but I don't see it, so. Okay, so I think we do this. That's working. And you can kind of see that the all right, maybe it's in here. Okay, yeah, there we go. All right. Group name. Sequence, walk, play rate 1, start, loop animation. So like, that's kind of annoying, right? Like, I don't know, maybe because I didn't have it set already, but. All right, now let's do my janky walking animation. You can walk. All right. So if I switch to controller right now, oops, I died. Okay, so yeah, you'll see with the controller, I'm no longer following the mouse. So I can just, whatever direction I walk in, my guy turns. And you know, we just walk in whatever direction we're pushing. So, but it also, it matches the direction that we're walking is the direction that we're facing. So, yeah, so there's like it's tricky because we could, there's so much more logic in here now that I'm like, do I move this stuff out to something else? Like maybe we just make a component called like follow mouse aim or something. All right, so this is the follow mouse aim, and this is, it's always happening, right? You almost want to make it so that it only happens when the velocity of the player is 0. But that will kind of cut back on the, yeah, like we have this check here, right, that we say like, don't do it if you're using the gamepad. Yeah. So we could also do something like get velocity, length So just like in the animation rate, then if velocity is less than or equal to 0, and then we're going to add this guy to here and this guy to here. So now we're saying if we're not using the gamepad and our velocity is 0, then we're not moving. And so we can aim with the mouse. I don't know, let's see. Okay, so right now I'm not, okay, and then okay, so I don't know, is that weird? So what's gonna happen is as soon as you let go of your all right, and the other thing that I was thinking of doing is in the old game, basically wherever your mouse pointer was, your guy would dash to it as like a, you know, like you could pinpoint a spot on the map that you want to go to. And it kind of looks like you're doing that here, but actually there's a certain dash distance, I think. So, did I somehow win the game there? What happened there? It didn't give me a game over screen, that's why. So I guess the issue here is now you're, like if you go this way, we're gonna dash in the direction you're facing, which I don't know, maybe this is fine. Maybe I'm overthinking this. But like kind of my issue is this scenario where I'm running away. I'm running away, but I wanna basically do a dash backwards, like, so I want to turn and attack. So all right, I think this solves the animation issue though. But I feel like it might create this kind of weird control scenario where I'm using the mouse to aim, but I can't aim when and I think we need the turn rate to be. And okay, so yeah, so the scenario comes up when you're moving in a direction and you want to dash in a different direction, right? So like if I'm moving this way, I'm only going to go in the direction that I'm facing. But I want to just have the guy turn and attack. So, and so we had something like that in our the various complicated steps of the dash attack. Okay, let's see, where is it? It's in here. Yeah, start dash attack. We do all sorts of stuff, but the first thing nope, not the first thing. We did this. Actor rotation. So we turn the player in the direction of our target. And so this piece here could be what we want. So like we could use our hello Chipin5. I don't know what you're referring to, but thanks for tuning in. All right. Okay, so let's, if we're going to attack, so I don't really store this, right? And I only trigger it if you're not moving. So when you're, so this whole piece is going to be, I do it a little different, I guess. Okay, it's close though. Okay. I don't really want to interpolate, I guess, is the issue here, right? So what would you call this? Is this just like the turn vector, I guess? It's the turn, it's the difference between where the mouse pointer is and where the player is, basically. So, all right. This feels like a macro, right? Get I guess it's something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I can use this now elsewhere. So like when we're doing our dash attack. But this is all inside the component. Okay. So this is an actor component. So if you've been following along with the live updates, like we created a separate component called an actor component that does all the dash stuff. So one of the things that we do is we get the dash target with a lot of complicated, I had to fix this stuff here. Basically, I want to delete this and this. Okay. All right. So we're getting the dash target like out in the field, and we're using the player to figure it out. So instead of doing this, right, we would want to add a new version of this that does it based on this macro here. Okay. Which is fine. I mean, we should be able to get all this information inside our actor component. And then we would just have to, so like in our dash, we'd have to determine whether we are how's it going, Abbas TikTok RT24? Thanks for tuning in. So this is where we'd have to do it, and it would be like, instead of doing this, we would do the mouse pointer. But let's make sure we didn't make any assumptions here. So this is another piece, right? Like, we're launching our character forward, this dash distance. So that's another thing we're not, we'd have to get the direction of the mouse pointer instead. So yeah. So I don't know when you started tuning in, Abbas, but I'm working on getting my dash attack working properly again. And my guy likes to follow the mouse now, which is cool. But when I'm walking, I also want him to face the direction that he's walking, so. And so I'm using, this is mouse and keyboard here, and then inside my game, I also want to allow people to use the controller. So, so now I have a controller, and I'm using the left stick to just move around. You can also use the right stick to aim, kind of like the mouse, but basically when you're moving and using the controller, it's kind of pretty fluid to aim your guy with that stick, right? So. And he's no longer following the mouse, obviously, so. And we want to make sure that, like, we don't have sidestepping animations and stuff. That's kind of how we would solve the, you're not looking in the right direction, you're facing the mouse, and you're moving sideways or something. And that might look really cool, but I don't know if I can devote all that time to making a ton of walk animations, I guess. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't take that long, but yeah, thank you. I don't always feel like the best, but I am trying to share the process here, so I always find when other game developers go through like everything that they're working on, like there's always like really cool nuggets of stuff. I don't know. Not sure whether my game dev process is helpful to people, but we're definitely getting into some nitty-gritty stuff. So, all right, save all. Okay. Let's see. So we have about 15 minutes to break everything. Do we want to break everything? All right, so here's a question. Should the dash component know about a player control scheme? And if the answer is no, how do we decision on the type of dash that we're doing? Is this another one we're doing, like, is this, yeah, okay. We gotta get rid of all this extra stuff that we have in here. Okay, so we have to figure out don't like that loops lend themselves to be part of like the linear execution line. Anyway. I don't know what that would mean, but yeah. Okay, so I don't know if my mic is picking up the garbage truck outside. I got a comment on a YouTube video I made that my mic picks up too much noise, and I think that's true, but I am using a Rode microphone, which is a pretty good microphone. It's not like one of the big ones on the stand, it's just a little clip-on, but and I have messed around with like the noise reduction on OBS, but I found that it cuts off my voice, like I talk too low or something, so then it like just filters me out, and then, you know, an hour into a video I find that I did not record any actual recording of my voice, so I'm not currently using that, but that does help get rid of background noise. It just means that I might also be not talking at all. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, we have a few places where we need to go, right? So, okay, so one thing that's nice is the dash, the getting the dash hits, we have a dash target. So we do have a vector already that is being used, right? The velocity, the launch velocity, we would need to, we could still use this exactly how it is, and just not, just make sure that we've turned the actor before we did it. So, okay. So in here, so this is the dash forward, right? Okay, yeah. So inside the dash tech, we'll just write out our ideas, because I don't know if I'm gonna get to it today. So we want to, if player is using mouse aim, no, if the player is using mouse, oh yeah, if the player is using mouse aim, but they are moving rotate them to face mouse position before dash. All right, that's what we want, right? Which would go here. We go before we dash forward. And we would, so maybe we would get the dash target first. Maybe we need to redo these. Oof, okay. Every time I look at this graph, it scares me. Okay, so all we're doing here is we're saying, okay, let's get a distance in front of the actor, and that's going to be our location, right? So we start at the actor, we add a big distance, which is actually too far if you look at how it's being generated right now. And then we add the X and the Y to our trace channel. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to make sure we don't dash through a wall or kill a bunch of enemies on the other side of a wall, and that we only dash as far as our player is able. Okay, so Another thing that I notice here is we're also using the forward to get the dash target. So and I think we've if we go back here, so we could do all these things where we just need to turn, we just need a function called like, I need to make a blueprint in C++ that's called dummy blueprint. So you can just like pseudocode out your stuff. And it would just be like a blue box, just like these, maybe a different shade, like a grayed out blue box. And then it would just say, it would just allow you to type a title in or something. I don't know, maybe take variables too. But it wouldn't do anything. Just so I could like pseudocode out stuff. Okay. So this would be like, just rotate player, right? And I mean, that's kind of what we did in the other one. So we'd want to do this. And that's within the scope of the actor component, because we're already manipulating the player's actions, right? Are we not doing this? We're doing it somewhere else. Where are we doing that? Applied image. Get dash hits. Clear dash targets. We must stop that. I don't know. Okay. Maybe we don't. Maybe we need to. Is there a way to figure out where? Man, it's only. Is it referenced in here? I don't know if I can find that. Okay. Yeah, probably need to add that back in. Okay. I may have just disabled it because I was like testing something. I think we don't want to keep adding to that list. Okay. So we want to rotate the player here. I think that's the way to go. And we only want to rotate the player if we're using the mouse, so maybe we have a Boolean. Okay. We'll just make this like I guess I want to make it a question Boolean because is dash in current direction? True, do this. False, go here. Okay. Then what we really want to do is put, I think we want to set this variable We probably don't even need this variable. We really just need that. Let's delete this. Delete that. Delete inside here is dash in current. Okay, so now we have that boolean, and if we remember, what we want is to I'm just going to copy this right now because this is basically what we want. All right. And we're just going to put it down here for now. We are not going to keep it here, but when you're kind of building out something. Okay, and then here, I think we want to pull this out and add it to, I can't add it? Yeah, okay. And we'll call this new direction target. Okay, all right, so now we can take a vector and we're gonna have to get the actual actor, which is this. Is there anywhere else where we do that? Right here, okay. Okay, so now, and then here too. So we would do this. And then we would go back up here to that. Yeah. All right, we're running out of time. Okay, so now we have these two things here, right? So if this is false, then we want to do this. So can I don't know if I can, this function needs some like helper text, but I don't think I can. It'd be nice to be able to be like, yeah, these are, when you hover over them, right? It just says new direction vector. It'd be nice to be able to do tooltip in here. But I can explain them in here. So is dash in current direction Morning, Imran. I am working on our dash stuff again. Okay. If false, then supply new direction target in vector param. Okay, so I'm just adding a little tooltip here for myself so that when I go to player base and I hover, oh, it doesn't give you the tooltip in here. Oh well. So whenever we want to do a dash, we can do our dash in our current direction. or we can rotate. And we could rotate. Wait, what does this macro do again? Gets the hit result. Subtracts it from the actor location. And then what did I do over here? I did the same thing. Okay. Maybe I don't even need currently bolt those things. All right. Now I'm going to confuse myself, but I think I just need this piece. Copy. Okay. Oh, and this is such a big, all right, let's move the dash tag so I can just have room to play with it. All right, so down here, I'm gonna add this. We're gonna, I think we do that. Okay, so now if we leave this as false and we do this, then we will dash wherever the mouse is located. Let's see. I don't know. This might work. Okay, so right now we're doing it, right? Actually, this is kind of what we want, because even when we're turning the player, right? But really we don't really want to wait for the player to totally turn around, right? It's kind of slow. I mean, it looks fine for this, but when they're actually dashing, though, we just want to be able to dash directly to the mouse pointer wherever they're headed, right? So that actually works exactly how I want it, I think. So I'm not even gonna I forget what I was even thought was a problem, but I think it's fine. Okay. Because I think I was gonna say, like, if we're moving, don't do it, but actually we want it. I think you want to always aim at the mouse. You always want to dash at the mouse. I don't think you want to dash in your direction. So, okay, good. So this is not complete, but we'll just remember we have to fix this. Because we need to, I think all we have to do is this, get use gamepad. If use gamepad is true, then we just dash in the current direction and then ignore this. So, can try that. Okay, so now I'm using the controller. I can turn. And we're not even thinking about the mouse, so, and we can turn and use our aimer if we want. All right, I am happy with this solution. I think we can clean it up, but I feel like I won, but I don't know. Yeah, we were working on animations earlier, and then we found that the walking animation was not working properly because when we use our mouse, we have the guy turn in different directions. See, I beat the game. Okay. And that was a problem, but now we've solved it. So if you push in the direction you go, your guy turns. So, and then if you're using mouse and keyboard, you have to use the mouse to aim. Which I think is fine, because I think that's the idea, is that you want to click to attack. Right, look at that. Got those guys. Okay. Cool. Save it. Put it on GitHub. Did animations for walk and idle. and dash target mouse position when needed. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what we did. Commit, push. All right, we're good. All right, awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in. I am going to close out with the demo here, or not the demo, but the, how are we gonna make it look this pretty? Are we gonna make it look this pretty? Is this how pretty we want it to be? Do we want it to be less pretty? Leave a comment. The other thing I was playing around with was I can make this flat shaded. I actually really love flat shaded styles. I don't know. It's kind of cool in the like zero lighting style. I don't know. If I was gonna do it a studio style, I'd probably gravitate towards this. I just don't know if it would get as many sales, so it's hard to tell that the mountains are elevated too here. Yeah, could put a line, like an outline shader on it maybe. All right, we are gonna sign off here, being attacked by these ninjas. All right, thanks a lot for tuning in.